welcome to Stretford Paddock. I'm joined by little Ciaran Taylor.
Flagman is the...
Flagman, massive.
Up
the flag, up the flag.
Fucking flag, man.
United have just won 5-0 away at LASK. Is that the tie over?
Yeah, it's done.
It's
done, yeah.
Call this a double Windsor, because that tie is tied up, boy. The double Windsor, the single Windsor. We're talking tie knots, boys. Let's get right into it. We've had a lovely watch along today, haven't we?
Tell you what, it's been a good atmosphere in here. The drinks have been flowing. It's been nice. All this talk of you're not allowed big meetings and big groups of people. You know, we put that aside for tonight.
Put that to one side. Flown in the face of coronavirus. Let's go through the goal scorers. Igalo, wonderful goal.
Great goal. Bruno with the pass, took it himself, top bins, easy. 3 or 4
touches. It was one of those, I've been in that position before. When you sort of half juggling the ball by accident because you've had a bad touch here, a bad touch there, a bad touch there. All of a sudden, the ball's in the top corner. Yeah. Lovely goal from Igalo, just cementing his sort of cult status at United. It's amazing how I've never seen in my life at United, or certainly in my memory, 2 players that have been so universally loved by the fans so immediately. Igalo, because he's clearly a United fan, there's a picture of him as a kid wearing United shirts, and just the way Bruno's adopted and accepted and pushed forward that kind of United mentality that we've been missing for so long. These 2 are like part of the furniture already, aren't they?
I think Igalo's got as many goals as Sanchez and Falcao now. I think at least 4 goals, definitely as many as Falcao. But he's great, isn't he? He's just great. He comes in to play the cup games, as we all knew he would. Yeah. There's talk of him maybe staying for an extra year. I wouldn't be completely against that, to be honest, at this stage.
The way he's playing at the moment, I would absolutely
you know what?
That.
Even me and you were watching the derby, and even in the last 10 minutes there, he was amazing.
Do you know the thing with it is, me and Jay were talking about this. Jay was on the watch along on the podcast Full Time Devils. Fame. We were talking about this on the on the podcast the other day, talking about Martial, not trying to have a go at him, but different players do different things. I think sometimes people want Martial to be this complete player who's great at dribbling, who's great in the air, who's a great finisher, who's got great positioning, who's great hold-up play. That's not what he's there for. He's an excellent finisher. He's very quick. He's got good dribbling, and he's an all-round good player. But Igalo, his touch, his positioning, those sorts of things, he's a real genuine number 9. And it's great to have both. I'm not saying one's better than the other. Obviously, Martial's a better footballer than Igalo, but it's great that we've got a proper number 9 at the club.
He's a great dirty old British number 9, isn't he? He's just a scrappy old prick who just gets in the box. But he's got a bit more finesse about him as well, as we've seen, especially in the City game and tonight as well with that goal, as you said. If you haven't seen it, it's an absolute
wonderful
world.
Goal. And his hold-up play is excellent, really. Like, he's a proper number 9. Like I said, he's a proper British number 9.
British number 9. Fuck Brexit. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Next up then, we saw Dan James with his first goal since October.
That Southampton game, was it?
That Southampton game, was it?
Unbelievable.
There's more to Southampton than this.
I tell you, just a side note, seeing it was the first game that we ever played behind closed doors as well.
Is it?
I think it is in history. Olympiacos coming out as well.
Not like Manchester City, who play all of their games behind closed doors. That is the no thanks, I'm sweet enough of football banter, isn't it? Man City, I've been sick on my son. Yeah. First game behind closed doors. You all right? I was joking.
Yeah. Sorry, the voice got the better of me.
But I'm really happy for Dan James. I honestly thought he played the best he's looked since around October, November time against City. I thought he was brilliant. A couple of poor decision-making chances, I suppose, or decisions. But his running, his build-up play, his just energy all over the pitch was amazing. Against City. And I'm glad tonight that was rewarded with a nice little goal. Juan Mata got a goal.
3 goals in the last 10 minutes. Yeah, I mean, probably well deserved.
Killer tie,
he's been probably one of the most consistent players in the Europa League. What a pass from Fred, though. Again,
wonderful. Man.
What a pass from Fred. I think he got two assists maybe tonight.
It was just ridiculous. Threading the ball through.
Is he play? Are we going to start? Is he going to be player this season? I think he will be.
He's right up there. For me, the contenders are Fred, Maguire, Wan-Bissaka.
Rashford probably won't be in there just because the fact he was...
The thing is, if Rashford had played all season, it would be definitely Rashford.
Yeah.
It was Rashford comfortably before he got injured, but there's always a recency bias to any sort of voting system like that, and the first 6 months mean less than the last 3 months, and Fred has been consistently excellent and so improved as well.
Yeah, just on the ball as well, because he's been the most frustrating player to watch. at least last season, you could see him trying to get the ball forward and he would lose possession, but you could at least see he was trying. And now he just is that industrious player that, I mean, we're all talking about how important Scott McTominay is to the team. You can't drop Fred. I mean, we're going to, we hope we sign a central midfielder in the summer. Don't know who he's going to start.
Well, Fred, we've got to the point now where we went from, Fred, at the start of the season, McTominay was, well, we'll wait and see. Maybe it was just a bit of luck under Mourinho. Fred is no good and Matic is on the way out. Now, those three players look like three very good midfield options, and we've added Bruno, and we've got Pogba to come back. The midfield has gone from being this sort of sloppy, I mean, clearly our weakest point in the team, to we're a couple, maybe one signing away from having the second best midfield in the league.
I made a comment to one of my mates that I thought at one stage...
Yes, I'm getting carried away.
We had this. I would have said the top three worst midfields in the league, talking behind the attacking midfielder.
Well, when we had an out-of-form Fred, Lingard and Pereira.
Yeah, essentially doing a job. And that was just looking at that. I can fairly say maybe one or two teams were worse off than we were. But it's nice to see everything come together. Matic getting a contract extension as well, which he is definitely going to sign, and that's coming from Ollie apparently. So
we've got some stats here. Sorry,
stats. No, cut me off, Ollie.
22 shots, 10 on target, 0 shots on target for LASK.
They weren't very good. They really weren't. No. And it can't help, though, to be fair, I do feel for them having to play behind closed doors, because you get a bit of atmosphere and... and that lifts you in a game like that. But today, they really just weren't up to much.
They weren't up to snuff, were they? And it's unfortunate for them. I feel bad. Apparently, they've lost around $1 million or £1 million
revenue from
which is like, genuinely devastating, isn't it? Really, that's horrible.
You'd imagine they may be taken care of in some sort of...
I don't think they will, because whose pocket is that coming out of? I just don't think that kind of fund, that kind of reserve exists for this sort of scenario. It's such a out of the ordinary scenario. I just
completely agree, Stephen. Completely.
I just think it's probably just going to have to fall on their heads. And then after that, we saw Mason Greenwood getting in and amongst the goals as well. It's great to see him scoring again, isn't it?
Yeah, what's that, 12 for the season?
12 for the season
overall now, and it was a lovely left foot as well. Left foot again, smashing it.
He scores them all, doesn't he?
He's good. He's good at kicking a football around. Bloody hell.
And at that point, the tie was over. Only for Juan, Mr. Pereira.
Yes, he did. He did a goal, didn't he?
He finally had one of his 35-yard shots go in. Terrible goalkeeping from the LASK goalkeeper. Really very poor. It was Adrian-esque. The goalkeeper.
Yeah, he didn't have a good day at the office, did he?
It was very poor.
Whatever his name was, he's had an absolute shocker.
Yeah, it was really poor. Let us know in the comments what you thought to the game and what you thought to the result. We expected 5-0 beforehand. I thought 5-0 was, to be fair, a very unlikely scenario going into the game.
I thought they'd be a lot more up for it, but when you take into consideration... Sorry, there's some people behind that are just... When you take into consideration that they were playing this game behind closed doors, it shouldn't really come as a surprise that, they didn't have the extra oomph.
I know. Again, I almost do feel sorry for them, because not only, you can talk about the revenue side of things, but just the kind of boost in performance that you get from that home crowd, those home fans. They were always fighting an uphill battle with LASK, but obviously not complaining.
I feel sorry for them, though. You've made a good point that they've lost a lot of revenue playing it behind closed doors, and probably the return leg will be played behind closed doors as well, so I'm not sure any away fans will be
give us your thoughts in the comments. Igalo to score 15 for the season. I think he's on 4 at the minute, so 15.
4 and 3 starts.
Be pushing it.
3 starts.
Here we go.
Oh no!
Stephen Howson's here.
Yeah. Do you want to say something, Steve? Do you want to give your thoughts in the?
Stephen Howson is like that really tanned old woman from Benidorm who's always in the walker. Who's in the little thing?
Mate, I'd love a walker.
Yeah. Should we get you one? Not a walker. What they called it? A scooter. Yeah.
Mobile assistance units.
What? Oh yeah, I'm doing a review as soon as these two show up.
Yeah, well, it would be quicker if we weren't being interrupted by other presenters.
Amongst other things.
Someone saying, I want Axel to come on, but glad Mason did instead. Yeah, should we just call it now? This tie's over.
Yeah, it's done. Finished.
Sad, really, isn't it?
Yeah, but no, we'll roll on to the next one. We've not really played anyone, I would say, that great. Yes, in the Europa League. So I'm interested to see the next round.
Talking to you, Mike Boy.
Yep. Can you hear me now?
Look at that. Look at that shot.
Jesus.
Look at him. Lazy-eyed bear comes and sits in. Do you know when you see one of those bears that is like drunk on honey that's turned into mead and they're just wandering through some town in Canada? You just look at him. That's it. Look at him. Picnic basket in hand, down in rum like it's a big pot of honey.
Mother Mary.
Someone call his parents. If they were to cancel the season, would we qualify for the Champions League? Absolutely not. Unless City were out, then maybe they would. We don't
Which
really
they
know.
probably will be.
We have scored 5 for the 3rd time since Fergie retired. All under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Tell me how good does it feel?
Right, that's going to be all from us. Thank you very much for joining me, Kieran.
As
thank
always.
you, slightly less, but still thank you for joining us, Stephen Howson. Stephen Howson's review is going to be up on his channel very soon, so tune in for that. And be sure to check out Full Time Devils and their fan cams as well. We may feature on those. Who knows? Cheers, Kieran.
No problem. No worries.
See you in a bit.
See ya.